Hello everyone again. Once again, we are at the end of another month. We're at the end of October 2024, which is a very challenging month for many of us in Central Florida, with a couple hurricanes, in particular Milton, hitting us pretty hard. But our numbers are available through the end of September 2024, so let's get into the numbers for Winter Haven, Florida. Winter Haven saw 71 closed sales in September 2024. That's compared to 83 a year ago, a decrease of 14.5%. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales, Winter Haven saw 18.3% of all sales as cash sales, compared to 25.3% a year ago, a decrease of 27.7%. Median sales price in Winter Haven, $299,990. That is compared to $299,900 a year ago, so essentially no change. Average sales price $289,387 compared to $315,815. That's a decrease of 8.4%. So the average sales price we saw a drop. Median percent of original list price, sellers received 96.9% of list price compared to 97.7% a year ago, a decrease of 0.8%. Median time to contract, 52 days to go under contract, compared to 31 days a year ago, an increase of 67.7%. Median time to closing or sale, 95 days compared to 71 days a year ago, an increase of 33.8%. New pending sales, 95 new pending sales compared to 69 a year ago, an increase of 37.7%. New listings, 138 new listings in Winter Haven compared to 109 a year ago, an increase of 26.6%. Pending inventory, 119 compared to 86 a year ago, an increase of 38.4%. Active inventory, 410 homes active in Winter Haven. That's compared to 295 a year ago. That's an increase of 39%. And then our month supply of inventory, we're at 5.2 months supply of inventory compared to 4 months supply of inventory a year ago, an increase of 30%. And please remember that 6 months is considered a balanced market. Anything less is a seller's market, so we are barely in a seller's market, but we have been heading towards a buyer's market pretty rapidly over the last several months. Tune in and we'll talk a little bit more about what this all means for you moving forward. So as we saw, real estate activity has been kind of slow over the last several months, and it more or less continued last month. We saw home prices drop just a little bit, but not really anything significant. Other than Winter Haven, where we saw the average sales price drop, but then the median actually stayed pretty level. And the median is generally a little bit better measure of the sales price. It's not as impacted by an extreme on either end. I think there's a lot of factors at play. And October is going to be really interesting because of the hurricanes. I know for several weeks we've actually had almost a stop in real estate activity. So I expect October's numbers are going to look pretty bleak overall. But for September, I think what we're seeing is we did see interest rates go down, but then we've started to see them go back up. Again, that's going to impact us even more in October. And so that's kept buyers on the outside looking in. I think a lot of people are waiting on the election. And it's interesting because that happens every election cycle. People wait, figuring they'll make a decision on purchasing based on the outcome of the election. The irony is that historically it hasn't mattered which party wins in the election. After the election, the housing market picks up dramatically. So I would expect that to happen again this year. There's no reason to think that would be any different. Again, regardless of who wins, I know we all have our strong opinions about who we want to see in office, but the reality is, in terms of the day-to-day workings of the housing market, it actually generally has little impact historically. So yeah, I think we'll see that have a pretty significant impact here if interest rates were to drop below 6%. I don't know that that's going to happen quickly, but I do think it's probably going to happen during 2025, so I'd expect the housing market to pick up then. In the meantime, what you can do as a seller is focus on making sure your home is move-in ready, do all the repairs that you can. Think about offering some of the same incentives that builders are offering. Builders are offering interest rate buy downs. They're offering closing costs, and that is keeping builders pretty active in this market, and they're actually pretty upbeat about the housing market overall moving forward. I know I actually toured several builders this weekend, 4 different home builders this weekend in the Winter Haven area, and all of them have lots of inventory, but they're also still building like crazy, and expect this to be a good year in 2025 and even at the end here of 2024. As always, if I can provide any information for you as you consider buying or selling a home here in Central Florida, please reach out. I really do consider myself a consultant or advisor more than a salesperson, and my job is not to convince you to buy or sell. My job is to help you make an educated, informed decision. It's in the best interest of you and your family on whether or not it's a good time for you to buy or sell. So please reach out. I'd love to talk with you. And remember, you can't miss with Chris. Have a great day, everybody.